Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Debate Club, a platform where we engage in healthy debates and discussions. The topic for today's session is India's taxation structure promotes the prevalence of black money. Agree or disagree? By definition, black money refers to the income that is unreported or not taxed, generated through legal or illegal means. It exists both in the formal and informal economy. Supporters of this Supporters of this debate argue that India's intricate tax system encourages tax evasion. The existence of loopholes allows taxpayers to exploit gaps in the system. Whereas critics argue that while tax evasion exists, it is not solely due to the tax structure. Other factors such as weak enforcement, corruption, and inadequate monitoring contribute significantly. India's vast informal economy also plays a role in generating black money. In summary, India's taxation structure does play a role in the prevalence of black money, but it is essential to consider other systemic factors as well. Both viewpoints have valid arguments, and addressing this issue requires comprehensive reforms and effective enforcement mechanisms. With that context in place, I declare the session open for debate. Before that, I'd like to tell you guys that to get a chance to speak, you'd have to use the reaction button to raise your hands, and you'd be given a chance to speak in the order of raised hands. So if anybody who wishes to go ahead now can raise your hands. Thank you. I see Saju. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can we define black money once again? For example, if I am if a government official is taking or let's say I'm supposed to pay tax on my 1 crore income, and let's say the tax comes to 12 lakh rupees, and I don't pay tax. So is 1 crore black money, or is it 12 lakhs rupees black money? Yeah.
Was that a question to the...
Yeah, I want to define what is black money. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Saju, why don't you go ahead and define it? If you already have a definition, why don't you just define it yourself?
Yeah, that's good. So I think the black money should be considered as not the 1 crore, but the 12 lakh that was kept away from taxation as the due tax. And I feel that in our understanding of black money, I feel that 12 lakh rupees is what is called as uh, the black money. So at any point of time, liquid cash is present in the system, and the entire liquid cash is not black money. So I'm not sure what are we debating here. So are we debating about the 12 lakh rupees, which is of course inconsequential because the amount of income that people earn is held by only 10% of the population. The remaining population is anyway below taxable income. That is what I believe should be considered as black money. Yeah.
Okay, so let me set the context for why we're having this session to begin with. First of all, the thing is that last week or a couple of weeks ago, we had this discussion about this video that I shared in the WhatsApp group, where there was a assessment done by this YouTube channel called Think School, where they were talking about the propensity for black money in India and how trading in black money happens. Actually, the video kind of did an expose about like black money trading in India. Apparently, this industry of black money trading is much larger in volume than what NSE and all the other recognized platforms of trading are trading in. So the thesis of the video was that the taxation structure that we have in this country is actually driving people to underreport their income so that they don't have to pay the taxes on the income. Okay, so the thesis for this debate is that we have a taxation structure that is like highly, like in many ways you can call it unfair. Okay, so this whole system of being overtaxed is a real concern that a lot of Indians share. I mean, you're taxed on everything. If you go and buy a car, right, you're probably paying like 50% the actual price of the car in taxes, and then you have to also pay taxes on maintenance and all those other things. So at every point you are being taxed for everything, and income tax is one of the biggest areas where people are taxed, and that is a huge point of inconvenience for a lot of people. So the thesis statement of the debate is that India's taxation structure is driving people towards a point where they consider black money as a fair alternative to actual reporting your actual income. Okay, so that is the thesis, and I want to see whether people agree to this or not. That is the motivation of the debate. I hope that kind of clarifies the context of the debate, Saju.
Yeah, thanks. But again, the definition of black money is wrong. So, but let's focus on the topic. So, I believe there are 9 crore taxpayers and only 1 crore file returns. Sorry, file income tax. Remaining 99 crore pay the money.
Uh,
I
If you're
think
saying
that.
so,
Saju, I
audible?
think your audio went quiet for a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I was saying, am I audible now?
Now you're audible, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying there are 9 crore taxpayers, and out of that, 1 crore pay the money, right? Remaining just file the returns. I think that's the figure. So the income levels are quite low in the country. So there is no question of people escaping tax. Whatever is allowable under tax laws, they are doing it. The problem, I believe, is that the high net worth individuals don't pay income tax. They enjoy luxurious life without having to show income, and that problem is prevalent in the higher income class, not in the lower income. Yeah.
So Kshitij here, I want to put
Kshitij,
forth that.
just you have to raise your hand to get the order to
Yeah,
speak. Yeah.
Raghav, I don't know how to do that. I've been trying.
Okay, so
Okay.
at the bottom you see the reactions button, right? There is a button called reactions, and then you can
Oh,
raise your hand
right.
with it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna come in the next cycle then. All
Sure.
right.
But just before anybody else speaks, I want to just clarify Saju's position. Basically, you're saying that the India's taxation structure has nothing to do with the black money prevalence of black money. It's because the rich people are not interested in paying taxes. Does that summarize your position?
The the rich high net worth individuals are able to escape taxation. That's correct.
Okay. All right.
All right. Saju, are you done? Like, that was your stance?
Yeah, that's my stance for the day. Yeah, I'll be in listening mode now.
All right, thank you. Shijit, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thank you. So partly agree with what Saju is saying, and of course, Raghav, thanks for the clarification. But at the same time, we have to understand that we are not only talking about the income tax, but also the tax that is levied on other things like sales tax is one, and there are other taxes apart from income tax that are being taken by the government. Those are also included. So going back to the point when Sanju mentioned that if somebody is earning 1 CR and is not paying um, 12 lakh rupees as income tax on that, then what should be considered as black money? Should that be 1 CR or 12 lakhs? My point here is that 1 CR should be considered as black because the way that you are earning it, um, the way that you are earning it, the way that you are saving it and not showing it to the government, uh, tells you that there is something nefarious that you are doing with, or there's something different or wrong that you are doing while earning that 1 CR. So, in a way, when somebody tries to like let's say if somebody earns 1 CR by any means, they will save that or deposit that in a bank, which will show on their PAN card. and they will have to pay any type of tax on that, be it coming from a property, then it's a capital gains tax, or a profit earned by investing in share market. Everything in which is earned legitimately will come in the eyes of the government, and they will ask you to uh, uh, pay taxes on that. So if you are somehow um, trying to keep it away from the government, uh, I think that that is black money. So 1 CR, not 12 lakhs, should be black money, should be considered as black money. That's my stance.
Thank you so much, Shithir. Is there anybody else who wants to go next? Yes, Prince, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I have the same opinion as of Kshitish that any untaxed income is black money because why is it not accounted for? And if it is not coming in the accounts book, that itself means that you are trying to get that money under the radar and hence it being qualifying as black money. And I do agree with the statement today that this weird taxation system that we have kind of incentivize the people to have a lot of black money because even if we look at the budget that was passed yesterday itself, the minimum you are getting taxed after what you earn like 3 lakh rupees, and I would argue that 3 lakh per annum is even not sufficient to barely survive for a two-member family in like a tier 1 or even a tier 2 city. So you are taxing that person who's earning 3 lakh, and like that 5% is a very hefty tax for that person who's living like hand to mouth each day. And then let's say he wants to save that or have some savings, then for investment also you are taxing that person. Like example rightly pointed out by Raghav that uh, we pay 10 number of taxes in while buying a car. Then we pay tax to the government for the construction of roads. Then we pay toll tax while traveling on those roads. I mean, I have bought a car, I have paid tax for that, green tax and all those things. I have paid tax on which money the road was constructed, and I'm paying that toll tax as well. Additionally, even if we assume that the toll tax was made to kind of recover that amount back, there are several tools that are there and functioning even after the whole the cost is recovered. And in previous judgment by Supreme Court as well, several of those tools were removed that were there even after the even after they recovered the whole money. So this opaque nature of the taxation system with so many loopholes do kind of incentivize people to hide their income and uh, try to come in a way that they are able to save some or a huge amount of their tax. One of the main issues is also an unanimous acceptance that the agricultural sector should not be taxed, and those certificates being given here and there. I have myself seen like five people in my lifetime of barely 21, 22 years that they are proper businessmen earning like crores of rupees each year, and they hold a card for the that their income is through farming. So these kind of things do exist, and the government needs to counter it. Yeah, yeah, Rose.
Thank you so much, Prince. Saju, please go ahead.
Uh, so can I say that if I'm earning money below the taxable income, I can keep it as cash and it is not black, right? So I think we should have a one-to-one debate on this. So there are many logically fallacious things. For example, claiming that a complex taxation structure is encouraging people to not pay taxes, that I can agree. Okay, that I can agree that people find it difficult to pay taxes, but it is directly creating black money. That is not the case. Even in a simple taxation structure, which is the case for rich individuals who can afford chartered accountants and all that, they are the people who escape with a lot of cash on hand. So that complex taxation structure is not a worry for the common man. He can anyways have automated calculations. Nowadays, you have automated calculators and Excel sheets and everything where you can plan your taxes. That is quite normal. I don't think that is the case. People want to not pay taxes in large investments or sales, like for example, selling your property. Then I would not pay taxes. It is if you are straight away paying a GST on the property sale, or TDS on the property sale, you will try your every might to take back that huge amount of money, right? So that is where people start paying cash, and that is where black money is generated. And even in that case, suppose if you pay 50% cash, then that entire 50% is not black. That whatever taxation that you escaped with, that is black. That remaining is white anyways. That is your whatever you have earned is that is white. So I don't know how you. I would like to understand why that gentleman called the entire thing as black.
Thank you, Saju. Next up will be Suri.
Oh, thank you. I don't think so. India's taxation, or at least income taxation structure, is complex enough. If you're talking about whole of taxation structure, I think GST and some of the other ones are complex enough that to enable it. But I think the black money is generated because, well, people don't want to pay taxes and they want to kind of. So there are two parts, right? One is tax reduction, and then there is tax evasion. There are strategies through which, if you show investments in a way which is legally possible, you can reduce your taxes significantly. That a lot of people do employ, specifically people who have broader spectrum of assets to play around with, and like good brains, like a good CA and accountants available for them to be able to manipulate. But same set of people or different set of people also manipulate things in a way that they take it out, they take money in the cash, and they take money via shell companies or something like that to basically escape taxes. So in some cases, they put up very elaborate systems in place to be able to avoid taxes, as well as setting companies in the different countries. So people do a lot of things to be able to kind of evade taxes, reduce taxes. I think reducing taxes is fundamental right uh, within what is prescribed in the legal system. Uh, because again, how the money is used in the system is it's questionable in itself. But not paying taxes, which are actually duly due after doing all the things that is possible, is not fair. And it's not always because of the complex ecosystem that they do it. They do it because they want to, and the consequences of it is not that severe, or they can easily escape it. That's my stand on this.
Thank you so much for the input. Next up will be Kshijit.
Yeah. So my point is simple. Whatever you are earning that you are trying to actively hide from the government, that's black money. The tax on that particular money is out of the question, because whatever you are earning through any nefarious activity, you're not showing that to the government, and that will be black. Why I'm coming to the lower part of the population which is earning less than 3 lakh. Those guys there are people who are earning um, on the basis of, like, when they are selling something and then they are dealing with cash. If they are showing that to the government by depositing that into their bank accounts, then that should not be black. But the ones which are kept in people's home, and they are not paying any sales taxes on that, or they are not paying any kind of tax on that, is considered black. Now there are two type of like, let's talk about the level at which this type of corruption happens. Now there are people who are big businessmen who use our intricate or complicated taxation system. They use the loopholes in that, and they try to uh, evade taxes. That is one kind of corruption. The other one is at the lower level, when one constable or one traffic police inspector takes a bribe and keeps it somewhere which is not seen by the government. Both, in both of the cases, are black. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shijit. Next up, I believe, is R. Are you there?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. So, I don't think we need to discuss much about the definition of the black money, which is, anyways, it is written in the legislature. It is act. We cannot change it now. Any undisclosed income is mentioned as black money. What do we do with the black money? In that case, the point, as mentioned by one of the members, is it 12 lakhs or 1 crore? What when it is when they are caught, do they catch hold of 12 lakhs or 1 crore or 50 lakh? It is anyways mentioned in the IT Act itself, depending upon the nature of the source of income and the other things. So we don't need to discuss about what is black money. Whatever is undisclosed, that is as per legislature, it says it has a black money. So if you hold 100 rupees of black money, how much do you need to pay when you are caught? We do even have we did have one of the, even I think we do even now have this thing. If somebody by themselves willingly reports their black money, they have a provision to pay certain amount and make it legal. I think it's once openly made in 2019 or 18. So I don't think we need to discuss much about that definition, which is already defined, which we cannot change now. And coming to the fact that people mention, one of the persons mentioned that we have only 1 crore people who are paying taxes, though there are many filings happen. For the financial year 2023 and 24, 2022 and 23, we have about 7.5 crore individual return filings, and about out of them, we have about 2.7 crores filings which have income above 5 lakhs. So 2.5 crores of people are paying tax. So that's about a fact. And another person mentioned about showing their other sources of income to the agricultural income. I agree to an extent that currently the IT department has no means to verify whether the source is from agriculture or not, if it is mentioned as an agricultural source. But they have a few other systems in place wherein the source of funds, credit, if it is coming through a transaction wherein nowadays they are clubbing it with the GST network too. Even if one transaction is raised with an invoice and the source of funds is not from the anything related to agriculture, they don't have such means to disclose huge amounts as just as agricultural income, even when, especially when they fall into the category of audited category. So if they just cannot mention that I have crores and crores of rupees of agricultural income and I don't need to pay the tax. That's one of the things I wanted to mention. That's it.
Thank you so much. Next up will be Prince.
Thanks, Rose. So, firstly, on the part, I guess someone asked that is income tax really complex? Yes, it is. The concept such as surcharge is complex. The exemptions and deductions that are mentioned in the IT Act is complex. The several kind of interpretation issues that are vividly present there, and even the charter accountants who are there to file those income tax and income tax returns to us are facing these issues. Uh, we'll get there later. The tax administration and the Gunish behavior of these IT officials is complex and threatening. Uh, 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 let's just say that you know I'm in no point of authority to say those things. Nirmala Sitharaman herself yesterday said that she'll attempt to simplify the tax structure and the tax regime. The new tax regime was introduced in a bid to simplify and streamline the taxation. The taxation system in our country is complex and wrong at so many levels that these do kind of influence the people to get away from the taxation and kind of use these loopholes and accumulate that amount of black money. If we are able to see that the black money is prevalent so much into the society, as to the Indians are the second highest landholders in UAE apart from the natives. That itself shows that how these kind of tax havens are being used to manipulate the government and hide these incomes, which rightly so, according to legislature, the whole income is black money. And we need to come up with kind of solutions around it to make sure that the taxpayers are incentivized enough so that they feel valued to pay the taxes according to the current regime. Yeah, Rose.
Yeah, thank you so much. I believe next up is Suri, and I think he shared a source in the chat with the rest of us. Would you like to explain that, Suri?
Oh, I think somebody said like only 3 to 7 lakhs is clear. I was just wanted to say where I was referring to 7.75.
Okay.
So like if you go by old regime and like do some investment, which people hopefully should be doing, they can get up to 7.75 lakhs as tax.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think whoever was contending the other bit was not exactly wrong. I think they're correct in whatever they were sharing. It is just I wanted to kind of explain in what context I was sharing them. Somebody, I think Kshitish did point out that like using the loopholes and like not showing. I think there is nothing wrong with using a loophole if it exists. If it is legal, it is possible. You should use it for whatever reason it is available, specifically in taxation. Uh, for example, like people might consider it a loophole. So um, let's say like I am investing in two different stocks. One, I'm getting a lot of profit. Second, I'm making bunch of losses, and I would like to continue investing in that stock. But right now, if I just sell it, I will kind of earn a lot of losses. I can rebuy that stock. Now I have earned myself some loss, and I have another stock in the profit. Now the converted value net will be a very small profit or a little bit of loss that I can carry over. So I don't really have to pay income taxes, right? But whenever I do make my income, I will eventually pay it. Now, some of people would consider this as a loophole, like right now you avoided paying taxes. Not really. If you look at the long scheme of things, this is how it transpired. And a lot of people, specifically high income or high net worth people that are there, they, when they're paying taxes, they at max pay 10%. because they're most of the time paying long-term capital gains tax, which is actually converted to 12.5 from this year onwards. But they generally pay 10% and they cover up it by distribution, which is not exactly illegal. So most of them don't take salaries, and salaries are generally taxed at like 30% or so. So if we are saying that that is not correct, well, they are correct. What is incorrect is the system. System is facilitating where if somebody is making earning by salary, they're charging them like much higher as compared to somebody who is making their earnings via like stock investment or something like that, or by owning part of the company. If you want to debate about that, I'm all in for it. I think like definitely I'm a salaried person. I would definitely argue for lower taxes on the salary as compared to something we are making on the stock market or whatever, or like with the owning of part of the stock and like as value increase or whatever. Right. So there are different bits in that. I think I really liked somebody pitched in and they talked about like I don't think so. A lot of us are actually disagreeing on like how black money is generated and definition of it. All of it is very neatly defined in IT system. The question here is the system encouraging generating the black money? I think I don't really think so. Like based on whatever I'm hearing, people are not keeping the cash or not declaring because the system is complex. People are not declaring it because they don't want to. Right? So I think that is where the problem lies, and not because complexity of the system. Complexity of the system would have been a problem like if it is so complex and it is so challenging to be able to kind of do the declaration that it makes it almost impossible. I would agree. New tax regime, I think Prince pointed out, is relatively new system that they have placed in, which is relatively easy to find with, right? And specifically people in the lower income classes, like people who are earning below 5 lakh, they are pretty much exempt from paying taxes, right? So if you are below 5 lakhs, you might not want to give some money to see or something, and you might not be as literate or cannot afford it. You can with the help of somebody in the family or like somebody who can do it, you can file it. If your income is much lower and like you're struggling to even find food, tax filing is not exactly mandatory for people whose income is like very far below, or at least it has not been clarified by the government or the courts what should be happening in those cases. So they're anyways good. But people who are making like 7 to 8 lakhs or a little bit more than that, in general, they can afford getting services from CAs. I think online services are like 700, 800 bucks for basic cases. If your case is more complex, in the earning a little bit more, you can spend that, or you can spend the time to learn the system, which varies based on like how much tax savings you want. You can try those out. So I don't think so. Complexity. So I would agree that system is complex, but I don't think the complexity is the one that encourages people to have more black money. I have not heard any argument that kind of points us in that direction. Okay, complexity of the system is encouraging people to have more black money. It's people's intent is what I'm hearing consistently.
All right. Thank you so much, Suri. So I believe what he was trying to say is the bottom line is that it's not the tax structure or the complexity or the intricacy of the tax system. The taxation laws are there and loopholes do exist. And I think the generation of black money comes down to the point of people wanting to generate black money or wanting to have that sort of money. So yeah, thank you so much. Great insight, Suri. I think Saju, you can go ahead.
So Suri covered most of whatever I wanted to say. I agree with him as well. Actually, I would say go on further to claim that if you have a complex tax system, then only the very intelligent can escape it. The simple-minded people will not be able to escape a complex tax system without knowing the whole thing. So, but I mean, that is a a minority of the population. But I would say, I would venture that what is exactly the problem that we are talking about? Is it about generation of black money in the country? Then that is a different thing altogether. The generation of black money, if we are concerned, are we really concerned about black money, or are we really concerned about black money escaping outside of India, which can hardly be the case. or is it? I mean, is it something like the government is losing out on taxation because of black money? That is not such a big concern because black money constitutes very little amounts in the current economy, and also previously as well, the component of black money was very little, and the current taxation structure of GST tackles creates a long chain of dependencies which is impossible to hoodwink. What I believe would encourage people to come into the tax net is a very simple social behavior. I would say that you normalize the taxation rate across the board. That is, everybody who earns an income or spends an income, if you make it a simple 5% or 10% taxation across the board, that would be what I call a simple taxation system, which is what the new taxation policy is supposed to be. But due to many reasons, it's not in place yet. Yeah, that's my simple
Great take.
stand on this.
Yeah, great take, Saju. I think Shijit, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So, of course, I agree with Suri on the point that uh, the big businessmen who try to take advantages of the loopholes that are those are essentially loopholes that are in the system, and they are intelligent enough, or they have CAs who are intelligent enough to take advantages of that. What I wanted to point out is how those loopholes are why those loopholes are there is a very important question, because it's not like the government does not know about these things, these loopholes, but they are strategically put in place by uh, the lobbying that is done through these businessmen, or a group of these businessmen. I'm not pointing out, or I'm not saying that there are 4 or 5 businessmen in India who are driving this, but there is a consortium which gets benefited by these loopholes, and these are put in place by the help of lobbying that they do, and that's how they get in place and they stay there. These loopholes are it's not that difficult for the government to do away with them, but they still are in place because the government also knows that, I mean, there's a back channeling of sorts between the government and this powerful lobby of businessmen. That is one. Second part was about what Saju mentioned, and it is absolutely right that um, we need to have a distinction between uh, how the black money is being generated in the country, or it's being taken out of the country, which one of these is a point of concern for us. I believe that uh, the the black money being generated in the country is the biggest concern. I slightly disagree with the point that the amount of black money is quite little in the system. Why I would say that is, we have an example in 2016 when demonetization happened, and the Reserve Bank or the government of India estimated the amount of money that is flowing in the market, but they were still unable to uh, even estimate the amount of black money that is in the market, because black money flows under the radar, and you don't really know what is the extent or what is the percentage of black money that is being flown in the market, or is like away from the market and sitting in someone's lockers, or someone's Swiss bank accounts or shell company accounts. So uh, yes, the generation of black money, I want to reiterate on the point that uh, I want to reiterate on the point of generating black money by taking an example, a small example. When we go to particular, um, let's say, stationery, where we are buying certain items. Maybe the items can be of like 100 rupees or 150 rupees. When the owner isn't giving you a receipt where you can see the sales tax there, it means that he's taking that into his black money pocket instead of his white money pocket. He is not showing that earning, because he will have to pay sales tax on that, and that is the money that in future he will not be comfortable in depositing into a bank, because it will raise flags that there is he showed an earning of 10 lakh rupees, but his bank account has got 15 lakh rupees. I know that a difference of 5 lakh will not raise a flag, but in bigger scenarios, this is just a small example. In bigger scenarios, this definitely raises flags, and uh, people do pursue these kind of nefarious transactions as well. So a lot of points I tried to cover, but yeah, these are the main ones that I wanted to. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the input. I think you can go ahead now.
Uh, Considering the number of different taxations that we have and the complexity we do have because we are a complex nation. Uh, and income tax is solely contributing about 19% for the budget of that we have. It is less than 20%. And a lot of us are just discussing that black money is going just because of direct tax evasion is the only sole reason for black money generation. It is not so. Uh, uh, this could be intentionally or intellectually being done because the tax laws that we have are very old, and people are not well aware about the laws or the systems that they need to follow for what they are earning. How do they need to pay the taxes? Paying the taxes should not be such a risk for anybody who is willing to file. The current tax laws allows anybody to be behind the bars if somebody just tries perfectly against them. So that's the kind of laws that we have today. So in that direction, to simplify them, it's been government is making steps. So having complex tax structure is not the sole reason for pushing the black money generation for sure. People are not trying that way. Even if it is a simple tax structure, we do still can evade tax if because it's always there will be something which, because tax is not a revenue source for a government. It's not the profit making thing for government. It is taxations we use for pushing certain domain or a sector or something. Government is not just looking it as a revenue source. They use this mechanism for several other things too. That is what we may be calling it as a loophole or something. Yeah, loopholes, because business people are much more intellectual than uh, anybody else. They can find a loophole and make money out of it. We can call it a loophole or anything. And about purchasing a low value bill and somebody is not giving a bill, it doesn't, in my view, and as per my knowledge, I am saying, it doesn't fall under a black money category, because there is something called, even in ITR filings, presumptive taxation, wherein we will be disclosing that we are not issuing any bills, and this is my estimated cash collection, and this is my estimated bank credits, and I will pay tax upon that. So And anyway, sales tax is no more valid nowadays. It's just the GST. Wherever they are purchasing it from, the vendor themselves are pushing them to be GST registered so that they can claim the input tax credit. In that way, government is making steps towards mitigating the leakages for sure. Are there loopholes or leakages still? Yes, there are. But one important thing which can solve this is the number of tax filings is very much low for sure. If that grows, we can simplify several other leakages which are happening is what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else who wants to speak up next? Yes, please, Suri, go ahead.
Thank you. So I would like to briefly talk about another aspect. I think somebody talked about like loopholes and some of them being intentional. I think some of it might be true, but in general, we also need to understand that like, economy is evolving and there are like new and sudden things coming up. And it's difficult to kind of keep up with what would be the best possible structure for taxation. And this, I'm not talking in terms of any government or anything in particular. That has been more of a global challenge, and that governments have been evolving. In some cases, they might be intentionally evolving slowly, so that some people can take advantage. But like there are new sources. Like for example, we recently had the big boom of cryptocurrency, right? Uh, well, there was no way to manage any kind of taxation on cryptocurrency. Nobody even knew. Like, if I bought it cryptocurrency, I sold it, and like, it was going on a global market. I could get cryptocurrency, I could go to another country, sell it to somebody, and get some cash. I think some of it is still possible, but some they have changed the system a little bit. All the exchanges, at least that are majorly supported in India, do have to comply with KYC, and then like they get that information and they have tagged it well ridiculously high in my perspective, but like that has been possible due to the adaptation. So I think it's not completely correct to say that like it's like we everybody knew the system and they place the loopholes. It's like the system is evolving. In some cases they do manipulate the system to slow down so that they can take advantage, but in general it is always difficult to keep up with the changes in economy and everything. And I think as we are progressing and like things are becoming more and more transparent to the point that I am actually uncomfortable, because like if you go buy a chocolate with your UPI, they know about it. They know exactly where you bought it from, where you have been. I'm not a big fan of that level of surveillance, but at least in terms of taxation, it does facilitate deeper ability to view. And somebody did mention like deep chains that we have available, at least in terms of GST. So wherever there are like bigger corporations in play, in general, a lot of taxation is happening, and that is possible because of continuation adaptation of our taxing system over the last 50 years or so from learning different places. And I think it will keep being a challenge, and that is not, I don't think so that is even topic of this debate. I think that is not about complexity itself. I think that is about complexity of the possibility of taxing all the aspects that we might want to, and trying and having difficulty to keep up with as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else who wants to go ahead? If nobody has any arguments to continue ahead, I think we can start with the closing statements. So if anybody who wants to go ahead and make their closing statement first, please raise your hand. All right, Suri, please go ahead.
Uh, the black money is rising because people don't intend to pay taxes. It's not because of the complexity of the system. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Kshijit, I think you can go ahead, please.
Yeah. Rose, first of all, it is Kshitij. So just wanted to
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
that's all right. Just
Kshitij.
wanted to I just didn't want to leave this forum without without
No problem.
uh, that okay. So my closing statement. Uh, Black money, of course, is a big issue in the country, and uh, just because nobody is talking about it right now doesn't mean that it is gone. We have seen that over and over again in the news, even after 2016. There are elections being funded by the help of black money. We don't know the extent of the black money that is there. Uh, Stacked at people's homes, stacked in their shell accounts. What Suri said is absolutely right, that it's not about the complexity of the taxation system, but it is more about enforcing that taxation on people. Uh, the if we are bothered about a lot of taxes that are being levied upon us, we can just take a reference from uh, the European nations, which are giving higher taxes than us, but at the same time, they are uh, keeping a track of the money that is being spent. Good things have also happened in the country because of UPI. There's a lot of the chances of generating black money has lowered a little bit because of UPI. But at the same time, it's a long road ahead for the government if they uh, are willing to curb black money.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Kshitij. I guess I hope I got that right this time.
Yes, 100%. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank God. Okay. So I guess the only person remaining is R. Do you want to go ahead?
Oh, I have nothing much to share, as the members mentioned. And the topic complexity is not the only sole reason for this black money creation or something. It is not pushing in that direction. But is there black money existing? Yes, it is existing. Are we making steps towards mitigating it? Obviously, there are few, but active participation of the citizenry in the democracy will always, if not just this problem, there will be some other issue be coming up. Binami is one of the other thing aspects of this black money which came up, and something else may could come up tomorrow. But our active participation will definitely make those loopholes, or they will bring up legitimacy. That's uh, that's what I think. That's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, R. So I think this is the end of the moderated debate session. So if you guys have further points to make or any inputs to add to this session, we can move into an unmoderated discussion session. So if you want to move into an unmoderated discussion session, please let me know by raising your hands. All right. So I think most of you guys have made all the points you had to make. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. This topic did not have a lot of like disagreements. I don't know, or agreements per se.
Mhm.
It was like little bit one sided.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It was pretty much one-sided. But honestly, it was such a great time, like listening to all you guys. And I hope to listen to you guys more on like various different topics. And I think this is the first time R and Kshitij have joined. the session, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I was part of initial few sessions, not these Wednesday ones. Wednesday ones, and this is the first one. Earlier, the weekly ones which happen on Saturdays and Sundays, I was part of first 4 5 sessions.
Okay, that's great. Looking forward to like listening to you guys more, like on different topics on Saturdays and on Wednesdays, if we have more debates on Wednesdays. It has been a great session, guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
all
you so
the
much.
and all the
Thank
Yeah,
you so much,
insights.
Rose.
Really, really
Thanks,
grateful
everyone.
being the moderator today. So I guess that's the end of the session. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Yeah.
thank
you.
you
Bye
so much.
bye.
Thanks a
Bye
lot.
bye.
Bye-bye, guys. See you.
Thank you, Kshitij, and thank you, Suri.
Thanks, Har. Bye-bye.